Hi, my name is Yaw. I'm 60 years old. My gender is male. I identify as gay. Yeah, so I went to school in Ghana and a few other places in Africa. And when I was growing up, like in boarding school here, it was an era where we didn't talk about it. Some people knew that yes, maybe I had an attraction, we should shout together, but it was unspoken. When I went to other countries, it was same thing. Most of the time, the feelings were there. Having said that, I taught at a secondary school in the 80s before I left for Western Europe, and at that time, the boarding school they were actually naming gays. So the world had changed. The younger generation was actually naming it. So the feelings were there, and let's just say I remember showing a teacher at one of the schools I went to that I was masturbating, and he sent me this book which said basically you're gonna go crazy if you masturbate. So the climate was very, very anti-gay, and so it was unspoken. I also read a book when I told my sister I was gay. It was called The Unhappy Gays, and the book was by a Christian author who said that some of us are predisposed towards being gay, some of us act on it. But that was what I grew up in a very repressed environment. It took me going out of this country to come to a point where I could actually embrace myself. So I guess the word would be repressive. It was repressive, unspoken, and yeah, it was difficult, That's it. Yeah, so relevant male relationships. So there are a few of them in my life. I've been having sex with men for over 30 years, so there have been quite a few. But you remember your first. Sometimes you also remember the one who you thought you may be marrying, and you also remember, different ones. But my first was a young guy, black guy, because that's my thing. I like chocolate, dark, light, different shades. He taught me how to use a condom. He taught me how to have hickeys. I remember us being in bed around the time Mariah Carey was playing Hero, and he said to me, "I'm your hero." It was really romantic. It lasted for 3 months, but it doesn't, and that happens in relationships. He was cheating. Okay, so that was significant one, number one. Okay. Significant one, number two, I'd say, was a guy who I was with for about 12 months, 14 months, and he's significant because it was at that time that I gave up on love, unfortunately. Until that time, I had this whole Christian agenda of everybody I meet is going to be my partner to be, and again, we were together for 14 months, we spent every weekend together, we had amazing sex, we cooked together, I felt like I was married. Until one day I accidentally hacked his email, the dude was cheating on me. So, at that point in my journey, I gave up on love. I realized that sex sometimes can be just for sex's sake, and not all relations are meant to last. And the idea is to respect who you're with. Since that time, I think the most significant relationship, I would call it a relationship, let's just say encounter of sorts was 3 weeks of continuous sex with somebody. Somebody who you connect with physically, emotionally, and they've been in between. But my thing about relationships is that it's consenting adults, it's an agreement, even if it lasts for a day, 3 months, or a year. Once we treat each other with respect, we're not dogs, we're human beings, that's what matters. And I like to leave a good taste in everybody's mouth. And we'll leave that. Great, so I grew up in a Christian home, so everything to do with sex was wrong and guilty. And I think it's Matthew 5:8 said, if you look at lustfully at another person, you have sinned. So that bar is high to hold. And so of course, when I came out as being gay to myself and to the world, I felt extremely guilty until I went to a gay positive church where I live outside the country. And the person who was preaching said that John 3:16, for God so loved the world, which most Christians know, includes everybody. And that's when it hit me that God made me, and He knows I'm gay, so He loves me too. So whosoever didn't say whosoever except gays and lesbians or LGBT, said everybody. And I also realized the Bible, which is used to condemn us sometimes, is used to justify slavery, is used to justify sexism. And so I've come to a place where I still have a relationship with God. I still have my quiet time. I see my Bible. I see God's hand at work in my life. So they or whoever, God loves us. And let's be clear, the relationship between David and Jonathan in the Bible has been said to be gay. Okay, let's be clear about that. There's some who suggest that it was more than friends. And let's also be clear about Sodom and Gomorrah, which is used to condemn us a lot, okay? The sin there apparently is not the sin of sodomy, but the sin of hospitality. And finally, Romans 1, which also used to condemn gays and lesbians. Again, it's not the fact that men love men, but it's male prostitution. So yeah, I love myself, I have no regrets, religion has been a big part. I happen to have come out to my family, which embraces it, and I have friends, through the spectrum of confused, gay, and so on. So I'm grateful that I can be my full self, including all my identities. Yeah, so one advice is hard, so can I make it 3 instead? First of all, God loves you. As I said in the part before, God loves you. Go read Psalm 139, okay? God knows you intimately. So God loves you. God loves you, love yourself. Number 2, when you're young, you're at a certain stage in life and things look big. When you get to my age, over 50, you look back, so hang in there. Cliche as it's been said before, it does get better, okay? It does get better. Our worlds expand, we grow, and we see things, and we look back and say, wow, I'm still here. Okay, so please hang in, get friends, use the support out there. You guys are lucky. When I grew up, there was no internet, there was no Twitter, nothing. Use the resource and be able to help you deal with this situation. That's number 2, so it does get better. And number 3, I'd say be careful who you hang with. For me, that's important. You know, there's chosen family and blood family, and our friends and people around us influence us a lot. So we have to be careful about that. I'm a big believer in friendship divorce or ending friendships. I don't think they're serving my purpose. So look at who's in your inner circle, and if it is not serving your purpose or they're not giving you the affirmation you need, it's okay to say goodbye. I was reading Ecclesiastes this morning. There's a season for everything, so be careful about that because they do influence us. That's my advice to young people. You are God's creation, you're queer, you're black, you're whoever you are, and the universe is yours to conquer. Conquer.